I'm here a few minutes early just to let people come on. Want to get my notes, some things I wanted to talk about this morning. So if you are here, I would love for you to write a little comment, just a hi, so I know that you're here this morning. Otherwise, no big deal. I know people come back much later in the day and they watch it, which is great, which is so great about these Facebook Live. Good. So we'll wait about a minute just for people to come on. And in the meantime, hello. Hi, Taimara. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Good morning. I see a few other people, some eyes are on, so if you want to say good morning. Hi, Elena. Always good to see your smiling little emoji. I just imagine your face. So we'll wait. It's 8 o'clock actually now, so we will start. So yesterday, I was listening to a call with Judith Lassiter and her daughter Lizzie. They have something called office hours once a month, which is a nice treat for myself. And I was listening to it, and the topic was a lot of people ask her questions. What type of breath work is best to mitigate anxiety? So first and foremost, and she said this, and I want to say it too, that obviously I am not a doctor or professional in that sense. So this is not to say that this is a cure-all, but we all get anxious feelings, that sense of anxiousness. And so the breath that I'm going to teach you today, and I've taught it many times, is very helpful. And so I hope it will be helpful for you. And if you do feel that it is helpful, hi Sari, if it is helpful, then please forward this video on. Because the more people who can have a more balanced state and feel a bit more grounded, especially in times like these, I think it's important to share that feeling for sure. Good. So I want you to try something. The breath work that we're going to do is Samma Vritti. And I've talked about this before if you've been in my classes or if you've been in some of my Zoom classes. Samma means same, and Vritti means fluctuations. And so what we're trying to do is create the same fluctuations, so that we're trying to create the same length inhale and the same length exhale. But before we start that, real quick, I just want you to try something. So how you sit or stand is really important. You actually can do this breath standing. I have a feeling it's early in the morning and enough that people are probably laying in bed. But if you are laying in bed, maybe kind of sit up, lean against your headboard, or on the floor against your bed, or if you're on a chair. But I want you to try something. So think about your pelvis and think about that it's kind of tilting forward. So you're rolling over your sits bones. And when you do that, your back, I'll kind of tilt the camera, tilt your back rounds, you're rounding. The pelvis is tilting kind of forward and up. And I want you to just relax your jaw and see if you can breathe and how that feels. I mean, you can breathe, obviously, but just notice how it's a little difficult to breathe. And now I want you to be upright and really arch your back and lean forward a little bit. And so when we do this, we're so upright and so tight. Breathe, same thing. You can breathe, but pieces of the body, parts of the body might feel kind of tight and tense. So what I want you to do is to try to find that perfect place, like Goldilocks, not too round, not too far forward, If you're sitting on a chair, maybe you can feel your sits bones. So we're going to rock slightly ahead of the sits bones so that our spine is not going to be perfectly straight. We want the natural curves of our spine. And this takes practice to kind of get here. And when our spine is in our natural state, little curve in the lower back, little curve in the upper back and the neck, just take a breath. My hope is that the breath is a little bit easier compared to when we were rounding, compared to when we were jutting ourselves forward. Okay? Hi, Hazel. Hi, Victoria. I'm glad everyone's here. So those of you who just came on, I was just talking about the importance of when we do pranayama, when we do breath work, that our positioning is really important. Whether you are laying down, if it's a laying down breath work exercise, if you're sitting, whether you're on the floor, sitting on a chair, you don't want yourself rounding, you don't want to be pushing too far forward. It's about finding that perfect place. Okay, and so when you're there, I want you to just get comfortable and close your eyes. And I will explain how I will be guiding this morning. Again, Samma Vritti. Vritti means fluctuations. Samma means same. We are trying to create a balance in the fluctuations of the breath. So what we will do is I will guide you through taking about 2 rounds of the Samma Vritti breath, and then I will ask you to come back to your normal breath. And we're going to go back and forth so that you could really feel what's going on in that balanced breath. All right, so if your eyes are not closed already, go ahead and close them. And just feel your sits bones. You're rocking slightly ahead of them so that there is this natural curve in your lower back. We're finding all of our natural curves. Good. And so we will start our first Samma Vritti, where I want you to inhale to about 50% capacity. And then exhale just about 50%. And do that again. And then let go of that technique and just take a few rounds of your normal breath. Notice that might be a little challenging. It's like we like to have control and shape, but I want you to really take advantage of when I ask you to come to the normal breath. And again, let's inhale slowly. Feel the ribs expand. And very gently, just let the breath escape through your nose, just as long as you took that inhale. And when you're ready, you do that again. Feel the side ribs, the front ribs, the back ribs. Don't strain. And exhale, noticing you can feel all parts of the rib cage gently contract and the lungs gently deflate. And so come back to your natural breathing, a few rounds. Let's inhale a little bit bigger, more like 60-70% capacity, sipping in the air. We breathe into the lungs, feel the rib cage. Maybe you can start to feel the moving up towards the collarbones. Super gently exhale. Feel the sides of the rib cage, the back of the rib cage soften. Do that again. Feel the space you're creating in your body. And come back to a few rounds of your natural breath where you're not shaping it. Again, slowly inhale. I want you to inhale as if you are receiving the breath. And notice that transition from inhale to exhale is so subtle. Balancing that exhale with that inhale. Do it again. Few rounds of your normal breath. This time I will be silent for about a minute or so. Just create the Samma Vritti breath. It will obviously be more than 2 breaths. I'll come back in about a minute. Slowly let go of that shaping, that balanced breath, and just let the breath go. Come to your natural breath. A few rounds of that. Just watch it. Notice if you still have the tendency to want to shape it. And that's okay. We're just here to observe. Again, I want you to create that balanced breath. Inhale slowly, fill up your lungs. Have your attention on the left lung, which is a little bit smaller in size. So inhale a little bit more into the left lung because of our heart. Feel the breath move up to the collarbones and ever so softly exhale. Do that again. Side ribs, front ribs, back ribs expand and slowly contract. And then bring your breath to its natural rhythm. And just notice how you feel. Eyes still stay closed. Notice if your breath, your natural breath, is nice and low and slow and smooth, that's a sign of relaxation, a sign of anxiousness or anxiety that's been reduced. Judith Lassiter said in her office hours yesterday, we cannot be anxious and relaxed at the same time. I like that. So I want you to really remember the feeling that you have at this moment. And see if you can leave this sensation, leave this awareness, this residue, leave it in your nervous system. And gently open up your eyes. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. My apologies for going about a minute over. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Namaste.